So today's topic is all about information architecture, which is a very great topic. Okay, and at the same time, it is very tricky and complex as well. While you work with it, basically. Okay, so when we speak about information architecture, right, what comes to your mind basically? So maybe how we can organize your uh, you know uh, the content basically, right? Or I would also want to know, like, if anyone of you would like to answer basically, what is your understanding when we speak about information architecture? So I'll just stop my screen sharing for a minute. If anyone would like to answer, can just put it in the chat. Anyone, anything would like to try? No worries. So let me, before answering what is information architecture, right? Let me show you some of the samples, okay, which might help you or which might uh, trigger something in your mind, okay, and you might come up with some answers for it, okay. So this is a website called as files.com, okay, and this is an e-commerce site. So when you look at this picture, right, what comes to your mind? What is your first impression basically? Lot of information, right? Not organized in a proper manner, right? We can see, we can do a search. There are different product categories. We have multiple individual products as well, some banners, right? Then at the top we have certain menus, and we are overloaded with information, right? Let me also show you another picture. Now look at this. This one is from one of the popular website called as ebay.com, which is also another online shopping site. And this is their product description page. Okay. And if you look at this page right now, so this page also seems to be a little bit overloaded with lots of information, not properly organized, right? You can see we have a title, then some subtext, right? Then if you notice carefully, some values or some fields are repeated. If you say it is 876 quantities sold, then we do have some CTAs, but they are not properly organized, and this is in the web version. Okay, we do also have some other informations, but we are not sure if those informations are required or not. So it is a little bit scattered, right? Whereas now let's see another image. This is from a popular website called as HubSpot. It is a CRM website. And if you see the structuring of the site, right? So they have a very clear their brand logo. Then the navigation are links are very much organized in a categorical manner. If you see, there are certain drop downs like those small arrows, right? Which means there will be some internal categories or some subcategories under each of them, right? At the top, we have a very clear CTA, call to action, what needs to be done, and then some headings, and the organization seems to be, the hierarchy seems to be much clear compared to the previous two that we have seen, right? If you see this, it is a loads of information not organized properly. Here also it goes almost the similar way. The organization is not proper. But if you see this, it is much clear and easy to understand for any users, right? Let's see one more example. So this is from the very famous website Flipkart. So if you even see their, their structuring as well. Again, it is very neatly organized. This is their product description page, which is similar to the eBay page, but the information that is presented here is much neater and easy to understand for the end users, right? So today's topic is also something related to this only, like how better we can, structure the content of our website or app, anything that we are designing in the digital space. Okay, what are the ways we can do it? What is the process that we follow? Okay, and there is no right or wrong way of doing it, but yes, there are certain best practices that you can definitely follow, and by doing that you can actually help your users, right, to consume the content of your product or your site in a very easy manner. Okay, so to answer what is, or to explain the definition of information architecture, so information architecture, in short, it stands for IA, information architecture, which is a part of our UX design, basically, which is a part of our UX design. Okay, next, if I have to say, like, what else in information architecture, it is also about providing a bunch of information in some structured way and organizing it in some manner so that it is easier for users to understand. And as I said, there is no specific rules for drawing sitemap or like the information architecture. Okay, so we can do it in any manner, but there are certain best practices which we will see down the line. Okay, next we'll also try to understand why we do this information architecture. Okay, the main goal of information architecture is to help user get what they want in a very easy manner, and also to present the informations in a holistic and very neat and organized way, basically to maintain the hierarchy when we are presenting some informations in our website, or say for example any kind of digital applications we design, whether it is an app, mobile app, or web app, doesn't matter. How easily we can do that, and how easily we can help our users to, to structure our details, we'll see, we can uh, we'll see, or we can do that through our IA, or information architecture. Okay, so next we have the different types of IA. Like, what are the different patterns in which the content of our site is organized, basically. Mainly there are three types. First one is the hierarchical, next is sequential, third is the matrix form. Okay, so what is hierarchical, sequential, and matrix? So when we open websites or any kind of e-commerce sites, we open a lot of sites in our day-to-day, you know day-to-day life, right? Maybe you might be opening blogging sites, you might be doing some shopping in like Flipkart, Amazon, Mintra, right? And also there are certain sites like, where you can kind of one single page, right, kind of a portfolio site, or maybe some personal sites, right, where you can move from one page to another in in a easy and clean manner, basically, right? So let's see what hierarchical, sequential, and all this means. So when we speak about hierarchical structures, right, those are basically organized in some categorical manners. Okay, like there are certain hierarchies. If you see this example, so we have this first category, like for ignore the namings, it could be any categories, right? So that is, guys, just give me a second. Just give me a second. Okay, apologies, guys. So yeah, we were in the hierarchical IA. So first of all, when you see this pattern, right? So there are different categories if you see, under which there are multiple subcategories. So this is like hierarchical structure, and which is very common pattern when we see it in our e-commerce sites or any regular sites as well, right? And for this we can also try to understand, like if I again go back to this structure of Flipkart or this HubSpot, which is a CRM application. So you can see we have this initial categories, and there are again subcategories under it, right? So that's the first one, which is the hierarchical structure. Next is the sequential. So this pattern is again very common pattern when we try to, or when we allow our users to take certain steps to complete one particular work or one particular task. And you might find this kind of structures in your payment process normally, right? When you are doing some checkout in any platforms or any product, or in any websites, right? You can see that there are multiple stages that you have to follow, go by. Or if you are also doing some bookings, right? Maybe in for your train bookings or for your flight bookings, right? There also you will see you'll be passing through multiple stages, which are like you don't have any other things to uh, like do over there on those sites. You can, whatever information is being presented to you, right, you can only navigate through that, right? So this is what is the sequential structure, and how and when to do this kind of things we will discuss. Last but not the least is the matrix structure. So matrix structure is, it is little bit contradictory, I would say, compared to your sequential and hierarchical structure. Okay, because in this kind of structure you can actually navigate from one area of your site or product to your site or product, which is also something similar to your, kind of your, if I have to give you examples like where this kind of structures are used, like this kind of sites are mostly used in, structures are mostly used in your blogging sites, where you will see like there will be multiple call to actions in between, then maybe some other links. Also e-commerce sites does have that, but morely it is more related to some kind of blogging structures, blogging site structures. Okay, where you could be having sequential patterns, like you may be having the, you know the different navigation links, but at the same time you can also go few steps down vertically in each of these categories, and also you can move from one section of your site to the another section of your site, right? So that's where metric structures or metrics pattern of information structure comes into the picture. Okay, anyone has any questions can ask. We'll take some questions if anyone has anything. You can see we have a good amount of participants, but no questions. I hope you guys are getting it, basically. Great. So, moving on, now the best practices that we should follow, right, while creating the IA or the information architecture of our website or app or whatever it is, right? It should be very clear and readable. Okay, when I mean clear, I mean it should not be too much of information overload, like the examples we have seen in the start of the presentation. And readable means like the categories or the labels that we use for our structures, right? We It should be very much human friendly. When someone reads it, should be able to understand it, right? Then we also normally try to keep the information or the structure of our architecture, right? The, what should I say, like the pattern of our architecture basically, right? So it normally goes top down, not like left to right. Of course we have the sequential patterns which goes from left to right, but normally if we have to see the main architecture of our site, right, or of our product. So it normally goes top down approach. So we'll be having some main top primary categories, then the subcategories, and so on and so forth, right? And also there is a rule in UX which we call it the three click rule. Like we prefer to provide our users something within three minimum clicks, or like at the max they should be in a situation to click three times and they should be able to get where they should land it, what they need basically, right? But sometimes in some situations it might not be possible, like some kind of e-commerce based sites or some other complex dashboard sites. Sometimes it might not be possible to always also follow this three click rule. Okay, moving on, we have something called as user stories. Okay, what this user stories actually does, okay, this user stories actually helps us to define the path of a user, okay, or to understand the different activities that the users will be doing, based on which we will be creating the architecture of our site. Now say for example, if we are creating an e-commerce site, right, or a travel site, we first of all have to understand the different activities or the different tasks that the users will be performing, right? Say for example, we are creating a travel site, and in that site we might not need the payment flow, right, or the checkout flow. We might need something different. We might need users to connect with the travel agencies, right? So if you are just assuming and if you are not aware of that the task that the users needs to perform on your site, then it will be very difficult for you to create the architecture of your website. Okay, that's where we first of all create the user stories, which actually helps us to understand the different paths or the different tasks that the users will be doing on our site or product. And at the same time, this story should be short and complete as well. So for example, if I say like um, Google, right? So what is the what could be the story for this Google? Like a user opening a Google site and tries to search for any information, right? It is not giving the complete picture, but it is at least helping me to understand the different tasks or the task that the user will be doing. And according to that, we can drill down and we can start creating our information architecture, right? And yes, definitely we might need more than one stories to describe the entire design, and it is always the case, because when we are designing a product or or any website, normally there will be multiple things that we might need our users to do. We might need our, if I speak about websites, then we might need our users to go and download something. We might need our users to go and search for something. We might need our users to go and just view something, right? So there could be multiple multiple uh, actions which we might need our users to do, and based on that we will be able to create our the overall structure of our website basically. Okay, so if I have to give you a sample, so if you see the one that I have just discussed just now, so this is an example sample story of, say for example, the checkout. um, like when we purchase a product, right, what could be the flow of that particular product? So the user arrives on the main search page. Okay, so say for example it's an e-commerce site, and users can select any product and add that product to its cart. Then the next page allows the users to make any changes to the product added in cart. Normally if we are adding some product to our cart, and if we don't give users the option, right, like to modify anything into the product that they've added to the cart, then it is very negative experience to the users, right? Then next it could be like to add their shipment address, like where they want to in which location or which area they want to get that product, and they can make the payment. So this is a very simple story that we are creating, and now although it is not giving me a very clear picture. So when I said the user arrives on the main search page, so I'm not sure how the user is going to search. Maybe they are going to search based on the pre-populated keywords, or we normally give them the search to do the free text search. I'm not sure, and those things will come when we discuss more with our product stakeholders, we discuss more with our requirement partners of the tech team. We'll get to know the more, but at least we are now a little bit aware that what are the different things or the different tasks that the users will be doing, and accordingly we will start creating the you know the structure of our site basically, right? We'll see this in Figma as well, like how we what is the process of how we start and how we actually land up in creating the different the complete architecture of our of any product basically.